Greetings, brothers and sisters. Like I've been saying on my other channel today, um, the Hollywood celebrities dropping like flies. It's just getting weirder. The spiritual condition is weirder. I want to get to that at the end of this video. The economy and there's problems with the weather, which I'll discuss tomorrow on my other channel. So all kinds of things are breaking down here. Kim Kardashian amid private jet flack. I pick and choose how to help the climate change. How to help climate change, not help the climate change. Well, she's absorbing some of the silicone into her body, so that's, there's that. So I already did this once, but I had to redo it because I forgot to do her accent. There she is, stretching in her massive, her beds that are on her private jet, yawning and, showing you how good you could have it if you had a sex tape that popped, right? I believe in climate change, whatever, and I believe that anything can help, she told Interview magazine in her butt-bearing cover story, published Tuesday. We'll get to the butt-bearing in a second here. But I also believe in being realistic, and I think sometimes there's so much to worry about on this planet, and it can be really scary to live your life with that anxiety. The Kardashian star 41 says she loves learning from her super climate change involved friends. When it comes to her life, she needs to assess the practicality of going green at an extreme level. This is wonderful. I do what I can, but you have to pick and choose what really works for you in your life. And no one's going to be 100% perfect. Okay, so that is just absolutely spectacular. Because these guys are all faketivists. They pretend they care, just like they pretend everything else. But they don't care, and they're unbelievably narcissistic and selfish. And they're not going to give up anything, especially their private jets. So this is, who's this dude, right? So this is the cover in which she bears her polyurethane synthetic silicone bottom, her silicone buttocks. But the face is what's really striking because who's that dude? And who's this dude, right? Kardashian comments came as she, Kylie Jenner, Taylor Swift, and more stars have faced criticism for their constant use of private jets over using the more plebeian method of commercial airlines. In July, the Kylie cosmetic founder was called a climate criminal for using her jet for a 17-minute flight when she easily could have driven. Why do I have to limit my meat consumption and use paper straws while the 1% gets to pump tons of carbon into the atmosphere for a day trip to Palm Springs, one wrote. This is just an absolute wonderful photo here. She's on her private jet, peace signs out, right? And living the lap of luxury. But, she can't produce too much anxiety. And she gets too anxious if, things are happening in the world and she can't do anything about it and she's not going to give up her private jet. And so it's, it just shows you how these faketivists don't really believe in what they say, right? It's just pretend. It's like a high school kid trying to pretend that they're into something to make themselves look good. It's just for appearance. They have no real conviction. And she just gave everyone a gift by being so transparently narcissistic and selfish and, dudeish. But the big takeaway from this thing is you can't be perfect. Sometimes you're just going to have to fly in your private jet and leave the climate change to poorer folks to cut back on their energy uses because, there's so much a girl that gets stressed out like this can do. Chris Rock slams Will Smith hostage apology video during London stand-up show. Dave Chappelle responds to his own attack. He said, F your hostage video, in apparent response to the actor's YouTube apology video. Smith posted the apology on YouTube in July. As in previous sets, the comedian noted that stinging effect of Smith's slap. Yes, that S hurt. He played Ali. I can't even play Floyd Mayweather. And so that happened. But here's Will Smith here. He's the same kid from Philly. And so he posted this, this smaller gorilla picking the ass of a bigger gorilla as a metaphor for his inability to get back on social media. Then he did this giant tarantula or small tarantula video. Then he did this video.
I'm trying to tell y'all, don't worry about what people say about you. They're going to try to belittle you. They're going to try to cellularize your name. They're going to try to sabotage you. They're going to just try to do anything they're trying to do to destroy you.
Nobody likes having their name salvatized. So he's mocking this, perhaps mentally ill woman. And then he says, 1986 was just different. Him and Jazzy Jeff. So he's trying to roll back to, 86. When times were just so much fun, much funner, and they had that wonderful show, the first Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it was just a dance party.
We just sitting here in the spot in Ecuador, and this is the type of stuff that happens in Ecuador. It's just a peacock at the window. It's just a peacock at the window.
So other than mocking that woman, he has, had a bunch of animal photos, and he's putting animal content in there. It's his way to ease his way back into social media. So this is really great. Dark Brandon, remember Dark Brandon? This they took the F Joe Biden meme and turned it into Dark Brandon meme. And so here, Dark Brandon strikes again. Joe Biden hits heckler with scathing one-liner. And it's not scathing. He's a complete putz. So I want to come back to this, but right after I saw this morning, YouTube recommended a video from MSNBC that featured the same clip, but had a much different take. Let him go versus I'd like to punch him in the face how Joe Biden and Trump handle hecklers. See, I've covered this before. When I was a kid in these highlights magazines, there was Gallant versus Goofus and Goofus versus Gallant. Goofus versus Gallant. And in the world of CNN and MSNBC, Trump is Goofus and Jojo Magoo is Gallant.
Bye-bye. Look, see, he's smiling.
He's smiling.
See, he's having a good time. I love the old days, You know what I hate? There's a guy totally disruptive.
Totally disruptive, this guy.
Punches. We're not allowed to punch back anymore. I love the old days. You know what they used to do to guys like that when they were in a place like this? They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. Guards are very gentle with him. He's walking out like big high fives, smiling, laughing. Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Now here's Jojo Magoo. This is the way that Huffington Post said this is Dark Brandon strikes again. Joe Biden hits heckler with a scathing one-liner. See, this is how bad the left media is, and I'm not saying Fox is any better, but this is the left media. So Huffington Post is talking about how this is Dark Brandon, going all Dark Brandon, right? And how, he's scathing and he's putting this heckler in his place. Where MSNBC is talking about how much more gentle and presidential Jojo Magoo is than Trump. I mean, they can't even, there's two different takes on the same, the same clip, right? And they're ignoring all the gaffes and all the, you can see for yourself here.
Serious moment in our nation history. And it's not I mean it from the bottom of my heart.
It's not hyperbole. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. This is how a liar speaks. I've covered this so much. He says things, I'm not being salacious. No, I'm being honest. I swear in my name is a Biden or whatever it is. He says all these things. Like he has to reaffirm that he's not lying. That's what liars do. If you weren't a liar, you wouldn't have to say, no, to be honest with you. No, I'm really being honest now. Like it's just, he's constantly doing that. But that's not the point.
As I said last week, we remain in the battle for the soul of America. By the way, all right, God love you.
God love you.
Let him go.
Woo, boo.
Let him go.
Let him go.
No, 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 don't.
Listen to him how many times he says no. Let's count.
No, 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 don't. Let him go. Let him.
No, don't let him go. I mean, he's like so incompetent, right? This is supposed to be the scathing one-liner.
Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot. No, everybody.
It's a scathing one-liner.
President Biden's response to a protest.
Look at him.
While campaigning in Wisconsin yesterday, as compared to how Donald Trump handled hecklers during the 2016 campaign. Remember that?
Yeah, Willie, it kind of feels like he was speaking to me there. Said everybody's entitled to be an idiot.
The same thought.
Four different.
You get off your knees, MNFers, right?
No, 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 don't. Let him go. Look, everybody's entitled to be an idiot.
I mean, no Mika, and this guy. But come on, Joe Scarborough used to be a senator. Get off your knees and stop servicing him.
Approach than Donald Trump, obviously.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
Also, looking back on 2016, too, the idea that Donald Trump's ever been in a fist fight in his life, the rich kid who's had everything handed to him by his dad. He's a tough guy, but he was projecting something out that continues to this day, right, to spur on violence just on
Yeah. Willie Geist.
a much bigger scale now, talking about the FBI and the Justice Department, the IRS, and everything else.
This is who we are. Peacock streaming now, MSNBC. This is who we are. And so they're trying to compare Gallant versus Goofus and Jojo Magoo with his scathing rebuttal to a heckler. Everybody's entitled to be an idiot. Like, it's just really lame. Chris Wallace return date on CNN and HBO Max debut revealed. CNN anchor Chris Wallace will make his return to the airways later this month, roughly 5 months after network execs pulled the plug on the doomed CNN Plus streaming service. Wow, it's been 5 months? It seems like that was just a month ago. CNN revealed it would release the first 3 episodes of Revamped, Who's Talking to Chris Wallace on HBO Max on September 23rd. Yeah, no one's going to watch that. Look, is that Billy Bush or is that some other clown? I don't know. Doesn't say. It's not Billy Bush, though. Anyways, this guy's really annoying and he's kind of a dweeb. And so, yeah, that's not happening. Covered in Federline, Jamie Spears saved Britney's life after a breakdown.
But I just try to explain to them that your mom needed help, and the people were in play to try to make that happen.
Yeah, and they helped themselves to a little bit of her money. I mean, they're helping her, they're helping themselves. It's a win-win.
First, I mean, everyone is mostly hating him for the conservatorship, right? But I think at first he was just trying to be like any father, like pursue her daughter's dream of like being a superstar.
And be a dadager, right? Because, like she didn't do that to her. She didn't Disney herself, right? She didn't Disney herself. Her parents, sold her to Disney when she was like 4 or 5 or whatever it was.
So you feel Jamie might have saved his daughter?
100%. I feel like he saved her back then.
Let's check in on Britney J. Spears. So first, Longhorns, nice to meet you all. Justin Timberlake. I don't know what this is. Reflecting back on 3 weeks and a month ago, fashion forward. Sorry for all that you've been through. Advanced style. Oh, there's actually more pictures here. Boom, 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 boom. That's it. 8 sideways is infinity, or am I making that up? Question marks. She's ruining a deck of cards there. I think you're just, getting a little carried away with your newfound financial freedoms. It's bells for me, Tony Schneider's. These great baseball players. Elton John, who was apparently a former baseball player for the Dodgers. And Britney Spears, who played for a team named Elton. So this is Doja Cat. This Doja Cat is ready for Halloween in a now deleted Instagram live post.
Dollars. Leave my dollar store headband alone.
Well, at least her voice isn't annoying or anything.
Stop! This costume was $10.
You're saying devil horns is a costume now? That's all you need for a costume?
Leave the fuck alone. My God.
Oh, she's a real treat there.
Like.
And so this is her Instagram page. She also posts here as a witch. She's really getting into Halloween. A couple of months early, she's torturing her. Is that a cat there? And then this one, I don't know, some kind of filter or something. But she's apparently shaved her head. I don't know if that's... So she shaved her head here. I think I might have covered her in a video or something. A lot of her videos are on YouTube, recommend. But she shaved her head here some time ago. And there it is there. Like you can see bumps and stuff. There, so that's oftentimes that's some sort of ritual that they do. She's animated herself there. She's drawing on her face. I don't know what's going on there. That's not good for you. And at some point down here, she used to have hair. Here she had hair. I don't know what's happening here. But again, that ain't good for you either. And so, much like Britney Spears did, she shaved her head. And then she started putting on devil's horns here. And that's her Instagram, whatever it is. Okay, so I covered Amazon having some problems with their solar panels on their roofs. And also they lost 40% of value in their stock. So here's their one day. It's on its way up today from, where it began here. But here's 5 day. It seems to have, hit some whatever it is. This is 1 month. You can see it's dropping steadily. This is 6 months. It was up here, a while ago. Here it is from, year to date. This is 1 year ago here. And you can see it really started to go down. Now, Amazon was doing so well during the shutdown. A lot of people got in the habit of just not shopping and kind of getting into it. So you can see a 5-year total went up. Here was their heyday back in 2020, 21. And then it starts to plummet here in April and then down here in May. And then throughout here, a little bit of a peak here at the beginning of August and back down again. And so if Amazon's sucking, which it appears to be, and another barometer for me would be Tesla. Here's Tesla at a 5-day period. Here's at a 1 month, a 6 month. Remember he said the guy said the stock was up too much. And it's still, there's a little bump here, but because of the lower interest rates, like it climbed up here, this is, its peak. And so, the reason why I chose Amazon and Tesla, because those are the two of the stocks that I don't know much about it, right? But two of the stocks that I think would be doing well right now. There's an electric car boom, and Tesla is on a waiting list, and Amazon was just killing it during the lockdown and was expanding and moving towards, Amazon is something that you'll see into the future when they get rid of retail shopping and cash and things like this, right? Like Amazon fits right into the Agenda 2030 type of living lifestyle. And so if Amazon is closing up outlet centers and they're not building more and their stock has plummeted by like 40% in the last whatever period of time, and that's disappearing wealth, which I'll talk about in a minute. Bed Bath & Beyond has closed a third of its stores. I mean, all these companies, retail companies, are going out of business. We know the economy is going to take out a lot of small businesses. It's already taken out quite a number of them. People are struggling, either making money or, in Europe, they're struggling with energy costs. And, here it's getting employees. I mean, there's all these factors. And people are, things are going south quickly. And so Tesla and Amazon are two of the big, companies that I would think, might be doing better. But the stock market's going down because of the raising the interest rates, which is supposed to, stop inflation. But at some point, what's going to happen is there's going to be a huge amount of debt-based capital that just disappears because it's all fake, right? And so when the stock market collapsed before, like let's say you buy Bitcoin for $100 and it goes up to whatever it is now, whatever its high was, I think it was like 50 grand or something. And you buy a lot and you become a multi-millionaire. There was even Bitcoin billionaires because of, I mean, I could have bought Bitcoin when it was like 10 cents, right? Like I knew about Bitcoin. Like I didn't know how it worked or how to get it. But it was like, at 10 cents when I first heard about it, right? And like I had no idea what it was. And, I'm not a techie, but like I could have bought it at 10 cents. I could have bought it when I started to know more about it, right? And so there are people who were like, it was young people who were, for example, giving their roommate 20 Bitcoins to pay for a pizza, something like that, right? So, it's like gone up substantially. But let's say Bitcoin goes back down to $100 and all that Bitcoin wealth, all that crypto wealth is gone. Like it's just gone. Maybe it goes back up, sure. But if it doesn't, it disappears forever. Same thing with stocks. So you might think, oh, wow, I have millions of dollars worth of stocks. And then it goes down, the stock market crashes and the stocks become, basically worthless. And it just disappears. It doesn't come back. The stocks don't come back. The value of the company doesn't come back. Same thing with inflated cash. Like you might have $1 million, but you can only buy a loaf of bread with it, right? So there's hyperinflation. And so there's going to be a period of time where all this wealth disappears. Either inflation of cash or the collapse of the stock market and the value of things. When things lose their value, which is going to happen, or inflation comes up to such an extent that even if something has a high value, it's worthless because the currency is so inflated it has no value left. But at some point, people are going to have nothing, even if they had like $100 million or $1 billion. I mean, that's why during the economic collapse of the Depression, people were jumping out of windows and things because they lost everything. And it was going to disappear and never come back. I mean, that's how it works. That happens when they do a pump and dump where they pump up the value of a stock and then they dump it and then it goes down to a certain level and it never returns to that higher level. And the thing about it is there's lots of renowned financial people like that guy, is it Michael Burry, who predicted the collapse of the subprime loan market He was like the first guy. He was featured in that movie, not Margin Call, The Big Short, right? And other people who are, lots of people who are outside of the, people have to lie about it. Like all the financial people, all the, people on the mainstream network news have to lie about it. Because once the perception, it's all about perception. Everything is the perception of value. And so at some point, and I think they'll try to keep it afloat till after the midterms in November, but at some point it's going to collapse. Maybe they'll try to keep it afloat through Christmas, but coming around 2023, there's going to be, at some point, it might even happen before that, they can't control it. But the system has been insolvent for a long time. It's just how long can they hide it? That's the issue. It's not about whether they can save it or not. It's how long they can hide it. At some point, they won't be able to hide it anymore. Or someone will get nervous and, wreck the game. And all the youth around the globe, the Chinese youth have this saying, let it rot, as they have, dim prospects for their future. There's no place for them. American kids, European kids, they feel the same way. They are all living with the apocalypse just hanging over their heads, right? At any moment, there's going to, they all believe in it. They grow up with these movies. They don't think they have a future. And they're in a dystopian world already because they spend more time in the cyber universe, which is depressing, and they've become weak and helpless, and, they can't sustain long periods of difficulty and, frustration. And, it's just a collapse of the human being. So it's just a matter of when this happens. And then the big question is, what do you do about it, right? Because what's going to have value? Well, land you can turn into value. If you can work the land, you can make something of it. But if the population is reduced, then land doesn't, have as much value because, there's not as many people. There's certainly the real estate market is destroyed because there's more homes than people, right? And so, and they want to get rid of that anyway and just have everybody go to these Agenda 2030 apartments or whatever it is. So, getting into the, rent-only economy. And so it's really hard to say. Like, I don't know if precious metals, there's no way to really assess it. Like, I've been thinking about this. My wife and I were talking about it. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you prepare for this? Certainly things are, if manufacturing dries up and there isn't all the stuff we now have in stores and you can't get it through Amazon and there's just not as much stuff, and that becomes valuable if there becomes a trade economy instead of a currency-based economy. There's a guy who's a sort of a famous prepper survivalist kind of a person. He said, wealth in the future will be gauged by the size of a man's junk pile, right? And so, I don't know what to say. But it's just coming around the corner. There's a whole thing with weather that I want to get into. I'll get into that on my other channel because it's just, it's really like, it's more than I can absorb in a day. And I've been feeling weird, like just, I'm going through, now I feel good, but I feel weird. I've been getting better physically. Consistently. And I've had another sort of breakthrough. I feel really great physically. But I'm just in a daze. I'm apathetic. It's getting difficult for me to, it's the end of the summer maybe. I don't know what it is, or there's something going on. Like, just sort of a disturbance, or there's something, about to happen. Where I feel something, but there's nothing provoking the feeling. Like, it's just a feeling that's happening in me, but I don't feel it towards somebody or something personal. I just, and right now I just have trouble focusing, and it's like, whatever, I'll get the video done maybe. I'm just having to push myself to get things done, which is always kind of a bummer. So like maybe there's something around the corner. I've had that happen before where I felt kind of off, and it happened. I want to tell this in a more, in a better way. I'm kind of winding down here, but I want to tell this in a more very succinct way. But something happened in 2001 where I felt off for a couple weeks before the big event. And so, maybe there's something happening. I think in general, everyone's just waiting to hit rock bottom. Like, that's how whether they're conscious of it or not, there's just this feeling. And so, that's what happens in a collapse. But anyway, economically, it doesn't look good because, I don't know what's popping right now in the stock market, but I don't think anything is. And because of how much everything costs, there is, a backlog of manufacturing, even things that are, that would be valuable. They can't they can't build them because they're missing some component of whatever they're building. There are a lot of electric cars and trucks that are on hold. They're very valuable. The Ford's putting one out and all these things in there. Of course, the Teslas. But then, what happens when they release all these cars and things like this, and there's not enough infrastructure, electric infrastructure, to accommodate all these vehicles. Plus, they can't build the vehicles because they don't have all the materials. So it's just, everything is uncertain. And going back to that dope Kim Kardashian, I have to go redo that. I didn't do her accent. I have to go redo what she said there. But, to pretend you believe in something but say, oh, I can't be stressed out all the time and, you only can do what you can do. That's the downfall of humanity. Because if you really believed in something, if you really believed in climate change, then you got to stop flying your private jet. At least you have to reduce your footprint in some way. But they're not doing any of that in the manufacturing of their clothes. So she pretends to be green and talks to her friends who pretend to be green. But they're all faketivists, right? The only green they care about is, what used to be money, But anyways, only spirituality will save this world. It's Paul Romano, definitely pointing for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.